Now, a few years ago, there's always brothers. My brother and I, we had this combative relationship. His goal was to have me dead, and my goal was to not die. So we always had two opposing views of life. He wanted to make sure I was destroyed in some way, and I just wanted to make sure I lived to fight another day. Now, see, that whole attitude is the reason why we had these constant battles, because he's like 5, 6 years older than me and about twice as big. So I knew way back as a little youngin', I was never going to win, okay? But what I could do, if I got smart enough, was play for a tie. Now, this kind of escalated. It started out when he put me in the washing machine, told me a hurricane was coming. And, me being a little youngin' back then, I was like probably 4, and he was like 10 or 11. He got me to get in that washing machine, and sure enough, he turned on that washing machine. He swear to God, we was pounding on the side of it, telling me a hurricane was coming. I was hiding in the washing machine, getting water coming in. I was on the agitator going back and forth. I was freaking out. I was like, you can't fit. I said, when I was a little kid, I fit in a washing machine. I had my legs wrapped around the circle agitator thing, and I was going back and forth and back and forth. Luckily, he didn't use scalding hot water. He just used warm water. But I swear to God, that's how I learned that hurricanes are dangerous things. I was like 5 years old. And I know when everybody says there's a hurricane, a tornado coming, man, I want to jump right into that washing machine because that's a safe place. So anyway, that's how I knew my brother did not have my best interest at heart. The first 4 or 5 years old, and I'm in a washing machine, and because the hurricane's coming. I don't know. You're 4. You don't know. Your big brother says, get in the washing machine. The hurricane's coming. It's a big metal thing. It'll save you. And, he's pounding on the side. I mean, it sounds like thunder. I'm thinking, man, he's saving me from a terror. I mean, it might get wet, but this thing's moving. I didn't know. There's a lot of things. But that's when I learned that maybe he didn't have my best interest at heart when we was growing up. And later on, I realized that it really started getting bad when he cut my finger off. We was playing on a lawnmower, and he decided he could ride me back and forth along the lawnmower just as a fun thing. And I had my hands hanging on the lawnmower pusher thing. And sure enough, he was driving me right into the wall. Okay? I mean, and I thought he was going to turn, and he would run as fast as he could, and he'd blast me right into the wall. And I started having to hang on for dear life. So I'm hanging on to the push railing on the lawnmower, and sure enough, he's bouncing me back and forth, and then he's like, you don't fall off, I'll run you over, come on now. And this started out being fun, but then it got somewhat violent. And then one time he hit the wall, and the railing actually bent up over the lawnmower. The push handle bent up over the lawnmower, and it cut my finger off. I mean, it was hanging off. It was like, you see, I still got a Band-Aid today. Anyway, so sure enough, Mom gets home, and he's like, Mom, I didn't mean it. She's like, what'd you do? He's like, I didn't mean it, Mom, I swear I didn't mean it. And sure enough, she's like, well, what is it? And I have my paper towel on it, and I took it off, and it went, phew. I mean, blood just squirting right out, and the whole hanging off there. And he's like, it was an accident. And it's amazing how these things work. So all this over the years escalated, and we kept doing terrible things to each other. And he got to be a real big fella. He's like, big dude, biker, football player type guy, and I'm just me. Now, you think I'm big. He's twice as big as me. He's a big fella. Anyway, a couple of years go by, life changes, we learn to tolerate each other. And one Christmas he comes home, I was about 15 years old, 16 years old, and he's been picking on me, telling me what a sissy I am. And he didn't have to live with Mom and Dad all them years when they went crazy dropping trees on me. He was out of house by then. So one Christmas he comes home wailing on me and yelling at me at my parents' house, and he says, come on, man, want to fight? You think you're big enough? You're big enough now. You want to fight? You know you want to fight. And I says, you know what? I'm tired of taking your crap. I've been taking your crap. So I want to step outside right now, and you and me right now. I'm gonna show you what for. So we walk up. He's like, it's about time you stood up and had balls to be a man. It's about time. So that's right. Come on, right now. Christmas Eve, right now. Outside, right now. Come on, we'll go out on the deck. And my parents' deck is 12 foot up in the air and don't have no steps. It's just a big giant 40-foot deck that my dad dropped trees on. we walk outside, and he walks out there, and I step out to turn around, and he steps to turn around, and I step back, and I slide that door, and I lock that lock, and just stand there. And he's out there in barefoot, sweatpants, and a t-shirt, and it's like 24 degrees, and he's like, "Come on, man, come on." I'm like, he's like, "Oh man, you did." I'm like, he's like, "Oh no, come on." I'm like, I went. Now he's really upset. And my mom comes upstairs, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I think he needs time to cool off, Mama. He was a little upset and angry this holiday season, and I think it's the only time that he takes some time to commune with nature and cool off." And she starts laughing, and sure enough, he's like, "When I get in there," because he couldn't get down because there's no steps. He'd have to jump 12 foot, and he'd probably like break an ankle or something. So I'm like, "Mama, you can't let him in. If you let him in, I'm going to die." And I said, this was like a way to win. Okay, you got to let me leave before you let him in. And she's like, no, come on, let him in. After about a half hour, she decides, look, he's turning blue. I'm like, "Let him turn blue. Hell, I still lost a finger because of him." She's like, "No, honey, I gotta let him in." I said, "You go hide somewhere, and I'll go let him in." And I'm like, all right. So I run into the bedroom, and this amazing thing, when Mom finally lets him in, he comes storming looking for me, and my mom's telling him, "Now don't you mess with him. He just bested you this one time now. You guys are even for all the terrible things you did to him that were, quote, accidents." Well, he didn't take kindly to that. So he is pushing on the door, and I'm holding the door lock, and I'm holding the door shut, and he's pushing on the door, on the bedroom door, and it's actually curving. I mean, the lock's staying put, the hinges are set, but he's actually pushing on a wooden door so bad that it's actually curving, and I'm up against it holding it. And I'm praying to God that this door holds. And sure enough, after Mom got him away from the door because he was going to break the door, he's like, "When I get in there, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to beat you." I mean, he was like one of them pro wrestler fellows. "All right, brother, I'm going to rip his head off, and I'm going to shit down his neck." But, I just told him, I said, "Mom, you got to let him cool him off. Yeah, it's Christmas, it's the spirit of giving. I gave him a nice warm present this Christmas, I didn't really, but anyway, so he got all calmed down, and later that night, he managed to stick like a bobby pin or something into the lock of the door, the bedroom door, and pop it open. And while I was asleep, he actually, because I was sleeping with the blankets, because it's wintertime, blankets on, he actually got on top of me, and I was like harmonically sealed in the bed. And because he's on top of me and I'm under these covers, he beat the living crap out of me while I was asleep. Now I was dead asleep, and I woke up to him beating the crap out of me, and I was like an hors d'oeuvre or a little hot dog weenie wrapped in them little blankets. I was a pig in a blanket. And he's beating the heck out of me, and I'm like, he gets tired. He's beating me so bad. And finally, I wake up enough to start making noises and trying to get him off me, but I weigh 200 pounds, and he weighs 350 pounds, so it's kind of not fair. And finally, my mom has come drag him off. Says, "You stop wailing on that boy, all he did was lock you outside. You had no right to hit him." So after I got the crap beat out of me, he figured we were even.